Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something literally heartbreaking. We are going to slowly unpack the chronological data of Tanya and Dev's long-distance relationship. It's a stark look at how, honestly, logistics can eventually suffocate romance, even when the feelings are incredibly strong. It is a fascinating yet tough look at the actual limits of human connection across time zones. Let's jump right into this quote. Long distance doesn't kill love, waiting does. This single profound truth from our source material, it really anchors our entire narrative today. It establishes right off the bat that there are no villains here, none. There's only the quiet, exhausting passage of time. It's an absolutely crucial distinction. It wasn't a lack of affection. It was just the sheer weight of the weight. Part 1, Love in the Margins, 12 and a half hours apart. Let's start right at the beginning. Picture this. A massive 12.5-hour gap defined Tanya and Dev from their very first work call. Tanya, the client, is in Mumbai. Dev, the designer, is in Vancouver. Her desperate midday panic over a presentation deck at 2:30 in the afternoon was solved by his midnight sacrifice at 2 a.m. Their entire foundation was built on one person stepping out of their normal waking hours just to help the other. And to sustain that initial spark, they traded these simple pieces of their totally distinct environments. Tanya would send Vada Pav recipes to thank him. Deb would send back pictures of Vancouver snow. They built this deep digital intimacy by literally sharing different worlds. They made her lunch break his midnight, and his morning coffee became her bedtime. They found love entirely in the margins of a clock. Part 2. The Rules of Survival. Organizing Hope Across Continents. Now, for 4 whole years, they sustained this digital connection. But come on, you can't survive that long on just text messages, right? So they relied on a really strict framework. They treated their relationship almost like a vital project. Rule 1, never go to bed angry. 2, 1 flight per year minimum. And 3, no expiry date on us. They did absolutely everything they could to give their love a fighting chance against the massive geography separating them. And you know what? All of that careful planning actually culminated in year 4. On Diwali, Dev flew down to Mumbai, met her parents, and in this beautifully personal gesture, he slipped an engagement ring into a piece of Kaju Katli. She said yes before she even chewed. They finally secured a concrete plan. Tanya would move to Vancouver after securing her visa, closing the physical gap within 8 months maximum. They finally had a finish line. Part 3. The weight of waiting. The agony of bureaucracy. But then, the cold reality of borders and paperwork began to crush their timeline. Month 1 brought a visa rejection for a missing document. A simple error, right? Happens all the time. But then month 6 comes around. Rejected again, this time for insufficient ties. You can practically feel the momentum just stalling out completely. The 8-month maximum plan is broken. And this leads directly to month 11 and a fateful phone call starting with those 4 heavy words, "We need to talk." When Tanya broke the news, that time zone difference we talked about felt more pronounced than ever. For Tanya, it was 9 a.m. and her today. For Dev, it was 8:30 p.m. and his yesterday. She had just gotten a promotion to Mumbai head. It was a 3-year contract she felt she absolutely couldn't leave. So as she delivered news that would alter their entire future, they weren't even existing in the same day. He went quiet. Obviously, he couldn't move to Mumbai. His whole life, his company, everything was in Vancouver. So he finally just asked, "So we wait 3 more years?" Dev's quiet, devastated question abruptly shifted the entire landscape of their future together. That finish line they had worked so hard for, it just completely vanished.
7. Tanya, that's 7 years total long distance, Dev pointed out. 7 years. That number represented the total duration they would be apart if they waited out her contract. This number isolated the exact weight that finally broke Tanya's resolve. The math of waiting simply became way too heavy to carry.
Part 4. Call 1400. The breaking point. Now, there was no explosive screaming match here, because long distance inherently teaches you when a fight is already lost. Tanya simply said, "I'm tired. I love you, but I'm tired of loving a screen. I want someone to come home to, not just call home to." That confession flawlessly captures the somber reality of their situation. It really wasn't a lack of love. It was the sheer exhaustion of longing for physical presence. She needed the physical reality of a partner, not just a digital avatar living 12 and a half hours behind her. 1429. They ended their entire 4-year romance on call 1429. Tanya mailed the engagement ring back. There was no yelling, just two people crying quietly at completely different times of the day. A love built over 1,000 calls ended on just one. Part 5. The lingering echoes, present-day realities. The echoes of those calls absolutely dictate their starkly different lives today. Tanya is now 32. She's married with one kid. Her husband works just 2 buildings away, and she sees him for lunch every single day. She achieved that practical, daily physical proximity she so desperately needed. She found someone to come home to. Meanwhile, Dev is 33 and still single in Vancouver. Incredibly, his screensaver is still a blurry photo of them together at Marine Drive from year 1. He remains emotionally frozen in time.
Dev actually never opened the box with the returned ring for a full year. He never changed his phone number. And once a year, on Diwali, the anniversary of their proposal, he turns off airplane mode at 12 a.m. Vancouver time. In a quiet, haunting act of lingering hope, he waits for a call from a life that has already moved on. She never calls. I want to leave you with this final, really haunting thought. If love gets tired of waiting first, how long do the echoes of that love remain before the waiting truly stops? It's a profound question about the true cost of distance. Geography and bureaucracy might end the phone calls, they might force the logistics to fail, but the heart's muscle memory can clearly last much, much longer. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep this story in mind the next time you think about the invisible threads connecting us across the globe.